Wonderful. Ah, Balaz. Good to see you.
What's up?
Thriving. So, ladies, let me just double check on if I can message this call. DL, I guess it's just DL, JB. Let me just message two people. Let me see if they're joining. Okay, wonderful. So today we're going to be going over framing. All right, Dio's just done framing. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes, Adele, tell me.
Yeah. If no one minds, can we instead go over the fear of rejection and fear of failure?
Yes, we
What
can.
do you think?
Why do you give a fuck if anyone minds? It's a bunch of men.
I mean, okay, true.
Wonderful. So, talk to me. What do you want to know? The fear you want the fear of rejection and what?
And fear of failure.
Wonderful. Cool.
So in my case, are they most related to cold calling? So
Mm,
I feel both of them. Fear
yes.
of failure before I start and fear of rejection during the call.
Yes.
But also that's a bunch of stuff from my life. So also in school, just generally in life, and I feel that it stops me from advancing and being courageous in certain circumstances.
Does it also apply to Genshin?
Genshin, not so much, but also yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Does anybody here know what Genshin is?
That's a
All of you
that's
are highly uncultured individuals. Yes, it's women in Russian, which is the most important language to understand women in. Highest ranking women of the world.
that's true.
Eastern European women. And also, we got JB's African ladies. We can't forget about the bloody Africans. You get the nice nude pictures of them on the National Geographic. I
I
don't know if you
like
guys have seen.
I prefer crossbreeding.
Ah, wonderful crossbreeding. Very good, very good. So we're gonna kick off. I do want to go into framing, but let's see how long this takes. All right. A long time ago. Okay, yeah, fine. So when I was 14, I understood that, like, at that point, I never spoke to women. Never. There were 5 girls in my year, 50 fucking guys. The ratio was fucking disgusting. I didn't speak to any women. Yes. And little me understood that, fuck, I can't talk to women. This isn't good. And I had a theory that future me would really, really, really appreciate it if I ate shit way back when and got really good with women. Because I was like, I understood. I'm really bad right now. There's literally only fucking up since I can't speak with them. So let me go. So me and my retarded friend, it was like three of us, but then it was just me and one guy. We would go approach girls. And there'd be times where we'd go out and we wouldn't maybe approach one. Like he approached one, I didn't approach one. And it was just a fucking waste of a day. Right. So that's the beginning of that story. And then I'm going to add another one. And then I'm going to loop back to the first one. Fast forward. Anytime that I think a girl's really fucking beautiful, right? And I don't approach her, that kills me. If she says no to me, I don't really care. I'm just proud I approached her. But if I don't approach her the whole fucking night, I can't fucking sleep because I'm just imagining stupid thoughts in my head. Yes. Then there was one time I'm in a club and I saw the baddest of baddies. Like she was fucking like hella out of my league. Hella out of my league. And I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I'm just giving myself self-talks. And I said, look, if she says no, Ishmael, I'm still proud of you. If she says no, I'm proud of you because you approached her. Right? Lo and behold, I approached her. We actually had a wonderful chat. Turns out the reason we had a wonderful chat is because she's a single mother. Yes. So lo and behold, that wasn't going to work out. Right. But then I was proud of the fact that I was able to go and approach. But now let's go all the way back when, on back to age 14. I had come to realize that I was looking for success. And I had a gut feeling, hold on, why look for success when I can search for failure? if I can genuinely reverse engineer it, like in my belief system, that I want to go out and fail. So my goal isn't to pick up numbers. My goal is to go out and get rejected. Because the fact is, if I go out and get rejected, I will accidentally get numbers. Like some dumb bitch is going to give me her number no matter how bad my game is. So then it took a while. I was able to fully convince myself that I'm going out for rejection. And guess how much easier it was to go out to get rejected. Right? Stupidly easier. Like no comparison.
So
So when
you got delusional about that, because I can't imagine saying myself that doing something to get rejected, because that's counterproductive.
no, but it's not, right? Because fundamentally, if you go, let's say cold calling, let's say you go out and you're saying, I'm being on this line until 20 people tell me no. So you're not staying there until 5 people say yes. You're staying there until 20 people say no, and that's your tally. And when you're done with 20 people, you're done. Are you then delusional or lying to yourself if you stick to that criteria?
No, you're
Right?
not. Mhm.
Once you put it into criteria and you follow through on the criteria, you're telling yourself, yes, I'm going out for rejection. And then the whole game changes and how you view it changes. And then you are much more common to success or much more likely to go succeed because you're searching for rejection. Yes. Even now, right? Every time I start an outreach campaign, I'm looking for one thing only. I'm looking for the first twat to say no, right? I promise you, I don't look for a yes. I'm waiting for the first fucker to say no. Because as soon as the first fucker says no to me, amazing. Deliverability is working, it's hitting the right audience, so on and so forth. People are going to say yes. But what I want is a fucking no. Because a no will tell me people will say yes. Right? But
How
then,
does that work? You can target like very wrong people and they say no.
no, they'll tell me, people will clarify to you saying, are you retarded? Did you not read? I'm this or that. Like people are very honest with like their fucking opinions. They'll tell you very quickly if you're fucking up to targeting. JB?
In regards to what you just said with the example of cold calling and going out with a mindset of failure,
Yep.
doesn't that also change not your effort, but not really your effort? Because if I go out with a mindset of failure, I also go out with a mindset of I'm not gonna try and be as fancy or as as fancy as what I would normally be. I would just be like, oh well, I'm aiming for failure, so I'm not gonna try and overplay this. I'm just like,
There we go. And watch your success go up when you stop giving a fuck.
good point.
Yes, when you stop giving a fuck, that's when you can start to perform. Right? I'm great at cold calling because I don't give two flying fucks about the fucking people. I'll talk all the shit I want to. Right? And all of a sudden, I'm booking calls left, right, and center. Right? Now, let's pull up the Miro and let me explain how this works from a point of psychology. Yes? Now, I'm going to use Dio as my wonderful example because it's accurate, or most likely accurate, right? As we all know, Dio is 15 years old. What can we deduce from this? He has never spoken to gal, right? Maybe in a class project or something, he got very excited and he spoke to one of them. Yes. Now, what that means is he has no idea what approaching a woman and getting rejected feels like. So in his head, it's fucking 1,000 kgs of damage, right? But now let's go to the complete opposite side of, let's say, me. I've approached, what, 1,000 chicks, maybe, right? The damage is there, right? And I, like, if I'm in a mood, I'll approach so many, yes, that I actually can't remember who I got rejected by, right? Like, it's just fucking spread out, yes? And then I'm going to give an example of going to a club. Not that I've ever gone to a club because the club is haram, but let's say going to the club, yes? Because it applies to business. There are two guys. Let's say we've got JB and we've got Rune, yes? JB approaches 100 women, From 100, there's one that wanted to fuck and he fucks. He got rejected 99 times. Yes. Then we have, one second. Then we have Rune, right? Rune approaches one woman, thinks his friends saw him fail, decides, I don't want to approach anymore. The whole night, Rune's fucking mood is going to go down and go down and go down. Even worse, if he sees a girl, wants to approach her and doesn't approach her, his night is finished. His night is genuinely finished because he did not do that which he thought he could collapse. And then JB's fucking ignorant going, da, 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 let me go, fail, 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 fail. Yes? JB, if you end up getting laid, are you going to remember any of the failures or are you just going to remember the fact that you got laid?
Just gonna remember the fact that I got laid.
Can anyone comment on his failures if he got laid? Right? But then why don't we look at it that way? Right? Now,
So
I am
it,
close. No, go ahead.
it is not about how many times you fail, because eventually you just need to win once.
Yeah, literally.
Okay. That's a
Right?
good mindset.
No, it's not mindset, it's fucking fact. Yes. I will comfortably say on this call, I am the most successful. Comfortably, full confidence. We can probably put all of you guys' successes together. I win. Right?
Yeah.
But like on borderline all topics. I probably read more books than all of you combined, dealt with women in a halal fashion, dealt with more women than all of you combined. I'm pretty sure I've made more money than all of you combined, so on and so forth. Another topic where you guys will not touch me is how many times I've failed. How many campaigns I've run, how many times people have fucking said no, how much this, how much that, like fuck. All of you combined, it will take a while to catch up with me. Yes, like genuinely, like it is impressive how much I failed. Right? But now the way that failure works is it's in a graph, right? So let's call this XP points, right? All of you have relatively low XP points, right? So 0, 100, right? And this is failure rate. So let's look at any example where I need to like let's put a term where in all situations I have 5 choices. So there is 20% success rate. When you have 0 fucking XP points, you're playing a game of gamble, right? But now let's imagine there's been 1,000 choices made. You've run through 1,000 choices and you've seen pretty much 1,000 reasons why things didn't work out and why they did. So once you've got, let's say 1,000 XP points, you can then look at 5 choices and you can deduce out of 5, 4, or let's say even 3 are shit, right? So you cross them off. You've got 2 remaining and you just look at them, which one has higher odds based on my XP points, right? One thing that people are so fucking stupid, I swear, right? They don't apply business to the rest of their life. Now, Rune, if you fail 1,000 times with women, are you likely to then end up with a supermodel if your goal is to get a supermodel?
Yeah, definitely.
Balaz, if you do 1,000 exams in history, after a while, and you're studying history, in the beginning, you're going to be terrible. By the end of it, will you have a PhD in history?
Yeah, I'm more likely to, I guess so.
Anytime you enter fucking university, you are the retard in university until you have completed university and then you fucking know everything that you need to know. Right? Only in the dumb realm of entrepreneurship does everyone need to think, or do people think, I am special, I know things, I'm going to be really good from the beginning. Right? Imagine you took that approach to sports where you go onto the field, yeah, I'm the next Ronaldo or the next Messi. I'm going to be the best. I'm basically at the top highest level. The fuck you are. Yeah, you never fucking kick the ball except in your back garden. Yes. Any of you guys who have done sports, like to a decent level in school, did you have to do a lot of training?
Of course you do.
What the fuck is the difference? Yes. In all other avenues, you regularly fail. But entrepreneurs, for some reason, believe that they can't fail in business. So it's a big thing. And they apply the rejection there. But why do you do that? It's retarded.
And how do you convince yourself? Because logically that makes sense. But when in the moment you're calling and you get rejected or people are rude, you're like, oh, that harms me.
This is a simple fact, right? Do not measure it by success. Measure it by XP points. Right? As an example, let's say you're building an agency from scratch, you know jack shit. So you're going for the build. Realistically, you can try 1,000 different build types. Let's talk about service delivery. You can try 1,000 different methods of service delivery. Do you believe if you try 1,000 different methods, you will find a few that work very well? Yes. So stop looking at it from the point of view of, I need to get that one done. First client success. I need 1,000. I need to go through 1,000. Right? A smarter person, and honestly, this is what the smart people do. Let's say they collect 1,000 to 5,000 as a setup fee. Wonderful. I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to put all this money into experts. I'm going to put 1K into automations. I'll find an automations expert, an ads expert, a funnel expert, so on and so forth, right? And now all of a sudden, you've exchanged all of these required XP points. You've given money to those that have XP points for them to share it with you. Does this make sense? This is the logical way to do it. But on the basis that you're going the long way, it's just fucking XP points. When I first started, and some of you would have heard this, I was convinced it's going to go well. Because as long as I don't stop trying, I will succeed. It is statistically inevitable. As long as I'm stupid enough to continue, I will succeed. And this is the one fact with failure. You only fail under one set of conditions. What are those conditions? Anyone care to tell me?
You quit?
Huh?
You quit?
That's it. Like, literally, that's it. And I am a wonderful example because it took me fucking 3 years to make money. When I say this, the first year, I made zero. The second year, I think I made $300. Yes. The third year, I shit you not, I was very bad at fucking business, right? I think I made a few thousand, and then after a while, things started to work out. I'm like, calm, money, 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 right? But one thing I knew way back then, I said to my, like, I knew this. I am not the smartest. Like, fuck no. I am far away from the smartest person. I am not the quickest. But one thing I am is dumb. And no one can beat a stupid person because I will not fucking stop. I will outwork like, that's all I had. All I had is I will outwork everybody. I understood because of, let's say, as an example, let's say trauma. Let's mix in IQ. Let's mix in EQ. On the basis that these are low enough, right? All I have is just willpower. Yeah, cool. I'm going to start at negative 1,000. I'm going to start behind the start lines by a fucking 1,000, right? All I then have is like, how hard can I push myself? Like, generally, how hard can I push myself? Right? Now, other examples to this is comparing a trust fund to someone from a ghetto. Right? Oh, Balaz, is that your boyfriend?
By who?
The man that just ran behind you in the bedroom.
That's my brother.
Look, I don't judge. Yeah. So PF trust fund versus the ghetto. We know that the trust fund has an advantage, 100%, right? But then he also has disadvantages, right? Now, granted, the disadvantage to a trust fund, a good way to put it, I heard it on a fucking podcast, is that the trust fund kid had basically said, what's the point? I can work really hard for what? So there are some disadvantages, but the fact is, person in the ghetto, he has his cards. He's starting at negative 1,000. So all he has to do is keep fucking working. Do you believe that someone from the ghetto can become a successful business owner? Right? They just have to work a lot fucking harder than the person who gets it through fucking nepotism. But doesn't mean that they won't succeed. Right? And with that, you have to conclude that like it's, and then the next thing is online. When you guys have like, I know you guys have scrolled through Instagram and YouTube. Have you ever heard entrepreneurs saying it's all about failure? Right? Where they literally say embrace failure. So if a bunch of successful people are telling you fucking embrace failure, love it, what should you start doing? Right? Literally embracing failure. Because this is the truth, is the worst case, the genuine worst case is nothing changes. It doesn't get much worse than that. Literally, nothing changes. Right? Look, as an example, I didn't go to university because I don't believe in a backup plan. Right? Can I go to university now if I really want to? Yes. Nothing changes. Right? Like, you lost your friends. Can you make new friends? Yes. Nothing changes. You lost your bitch. Can you get another bitch? Yes. Nothing fucking changes. Right? And that's just the fact. Worst case, nothing changes. So what the fuck do you have to lose? Yeah. The only thing you have to do is you'll stay in the same position that you're currently in, that you're working hard to get out of. Now, anything that you would like to look into based on what I said?
That fully makes sense logically, but I wonder where does this fear come initially from? Because I don't
What's
believe
that?
that's from logic.
Trauma. Past trauma.
I heard that fear of rejection and fear of failure are number one, number two reason why people do not advance in life. Is it like we all
Yeah.
have a trauma?
No, it'll be a specific trauma that gets that. But literally, fear of failure, you won't approach the chick. You won't start the business. What the fuck do you have to lose? Literally, all you have to lose is nothing fucking changes. I can approach 1,000 women. In 3 days, they won't remember who the fuck I am. And I won't remember who the fuck they are. Has anyone here ever approached a girl that failed and you don't remember who the fuck she is?
All of them.
Literally. Yeah? And the more, and the good thing with this is exposure therapy works very good to failure. Because the first time you fail, it's going to be painful. But the more and the more and the more and the more and the more you fail, the less you give a fuck. Right? I'm sure if you guys fail a sales call, it will affect your day. I will fail a sales call, forgot that I got onto a sales call, and forget the person I fucking spoke to. Like, genuinely, who did you speak? Fuck knows. Why didn't they close? They were retarded. Pretty sure that was it. But I could be confusing them with somebody else. Right? But the only reason for that is I've been exposed to it so many times. Right? The first time you have to take it, let's imagine you get some kind of disease, right? Diabetes or whatever, right? The first time you take the fucking like stabbing yourself, you're not gonna like it. After 2 years of stabbing yourself, you're not gonna give a shit. Right? As an example, the first time that you stab yourself in public, you may worry about being judged by members of the public. Are you going to give a fuck after doing that 300 times in front of members of the public? You get my point?
Yeah.
But then the best thing to do is expose yourself to failure. Go out to fail. It is the best thing you can do. Go out, fail. The person who is dumb enough to not care about failure and the judgment of other people, fuck. There aren't many other things that have such an advantage to that. Right? Like, as an example, let's say we met, right? Granted, it would depend on my mood. If you said, Ismael, go approach that girl, do you think I'm going to give two flying fucks about approaching the girl?
Unlikely.
Right? And then I have a rule. Now, when it comes to women, I have a genuine rule that it's a safety rule, right? I will only approach a girl that is out of my league. Like she has to be like to the level she shouldn't be talking to me. Like just like looks wise, yeah, there's not much of a connection there. Yes. And the reason I do that is a safety thing. It's because if I fail, no one can say shit to me. Could I approach the girl that no one else is gonna fucking approach? Yeah, you can talk shit to me, but what, you're gonna fucking approach her? Fuck no. You're gonna go for the fucking ugly trolls, aren't you? Yeah, go fuck yourself. Right? So then I will only approach those that are completely out of my league. Yeah. Also, I'm not getting rejected by a fucking 6 out of 10 or like what, something along those lines. Like, fuck no. For what? For her fucking ego. Fuck no. I'm gonna go for the baddest of baddies. Yes. And the fact is, by approaching the baddest of baddies, will I end up with a baddie by accident?
If you do it enough times. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? There'll be one that's dumb enough that thinks like he's like I remember one time the baddest of baddies. She was so hot. I was in a meeting. I had to approach her. I kept looking at her. She was looking at me. And then she looked at me a second time. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Maybe me. Oh, yeah. Then I stopped the meeting. I chased after her, got her number. I was very nervous. She's completely out of my league. Yeah. I'm a balding man. You can't tell on this call, but basically I am. Right? I'm not the tallest of motherfuckers, but I got her details. Yes. What did I have to lose? A baddie tells me no. Okay. I'll survive. Yes. And now let's look at sales calls. Another example. All right. But then I'll make this conditional. When it comes to sales calls, let's say you're going back to back on sales calls, selling stuff. The people that you know, do they even have the courage to speak to strangers to sell them stuff? Or are they too nervous to do it? The people that you worry would judge, so on and so forth. Do they have the balls to do something like what you're doing? Right? If they don't, why the fuck do you care? Right? And then the next question, if you were to ask somebody that you would like to be like, should I do this? Should I fail this many times? Would they say yes or no? They would say yes. Keep failing, because at one point you will succeed. Right? You could like you guys are familiar that a good close rate is a good close rate is 30%. You guys are familiar with this, right? Now, depending on the type of appointment that you get, you can get close rates all the way up to 80%. Right? When I'm like heavy on my sales, like just doing loads of calls, different stuff, I'm ranging anywhere 40 to 60% on the close rate. Right? But the fact is, if you've got a 1% fucking close rate, will you end up with clients?
After 100 calls?
Yeah, will you end up with clients?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, I can slap you in a niche I can slap you in a niche, set up the outreach for you, where you will end up with, how many is that? 8, 40. You'll have 100 sales calls by the end of the first month. Yeah. Now, granted, I don't say this because then if I were to say it, that niche is basically dead. Right? Like I've had scripts run through niches where like the whole country has heard my fucking script. Right? So it's not ideal. Like it only lasts so long. But then you will get a client by the end. But all you have to do is turn off your fucking thinking brain and just go to the sales call and do your work. You also have to remember you're just a fucking employee in your company. Right? Imagine if an employee said to you, boss, I'm too scared to join sales calls. You look at them and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Join the fucking sales call, you stupid cunt. Yes? But then you have to apply the same things to yourselves. 99% of entrepreneurs in the first, let's say 1 year to 2 years, if I was to ask them, would you have fired yourself by now? They would say yes. Like they would have, hands out, they would have fired themselves. And I'm pretty sure all of you would have fired yourselves by now. Yes. Wonderful. Any more questions on this?
I remember it was, I guess it was Jordan Peterson who told that. He said that people are afraid of failure mainly because their fragile self-image will be harmed if they receive failure.
Just stop being fucking gay. What fucking self-image, your fragile self-image? Fuck how you see yourself. Yes. And you also have to recognize that no, this is the truth when you're talking about a fragile ego.
Mhm.
The fragile self, like it's a self-portrait that you lie to yourself about.
Mhm.
Again, it is a lie that you tell yourself to make yourself feel better. Because the fact is, if you're scared it's gonna break because of failure, what does it mean? It means that it's not real. Am I wrong?
You're right.
So stop being a fucking Yas queen where they're like, I'm fat, beautiful. Right? Or everyone's fucking opinions matter. The fuck they do. Yeah, people should lose their voting rights due to just lack of competence. Right? It's about being honest with who you are. Right? And it's a comparison is men and women. Right? Would any of you guys rank yourselves 10 out of 10? Anyone here ranking themselves 10 out of 10? No. Do women rank themselves 10 out of 10? Yes, they are truly retarded creatures. Honestly, genuinely, like the older I get, the less like so many things go wrong, right? And how I see them. On the basis that you recognize that you're not 10 out of 10, wonderful. You've got room to fucking improve. So why the fuck do you care if you fail? Is there any path that you see yourself becoming 10 out of 10 without failing? Any? So go fail. What the fuck are you doing? You're acting as though it's like optional. Failure is optional. I'm trying to avoid it. Shut the fuck up. Yes. And this is one fact, right? If you were doing stuff and you don't fail, you are 1,000,000%, you're not trying. Or at the very least, you're not doing stuff that's difficult enough to allow you to grow. Right? Now, one point further to that. And I'll use this in one example. Right? I'll give you guys a very good example. Would you guys agree that the hardest stuff you've been through in your personal lives is what's made you the strongest that you are right now?
For sure.
Ruin your thinking about it? Would you agree? Yes. So the pain made you stronger, right? So why the fuck don't you want more fucking pain? Yes. If pain made you stronger, allowed you to be a better version of yourself, why the fuck like invite pain, invite suffering? Because suffering for women is very, very fucking bad. They become useless trauma-built creatures, right? Like lots of negative effects. But for men, it makes you a lot stronger. So why would you not encourage trauma to come in? There was one guy that I knew. I did business with him, and I at the time I was in like there was a solid gap between him and I in terms of what we've done so far, and he had hit his fucking low point. Like fuck me. Like the way to describe it is the universe took his head, put it through the soil, opened his mouth, and just dragged shit dirt into his mouth. Right? Good way to describe what he was going through. And he said all of this to me, and he wanted some of my wisdom. And my response is, I'm fucking jealous.
I remember you
And
told that. Yeah.
yeah, like he was crying. And I'm like, I'm fucking jealous. I said, like, last thing he would fucking expect. Yes. And he's like, why? And I said, because with everything you've told me, what else? What else can bring you the fuck down? Like, what? Like, nothing. Like, I've run the maths logically. There's nothing else that can fucking happen to you. Right? Like, everyone he knew, like, fucked him over. It was very bad. Yes. And I told him, it's only fucking up from here. And the further down you go, the higher up you go. That's how it works. Right? The worse things get. Now, granted, if you can go really down and then end up doing drugs, alcohol abuse, suicide, all this kind of dumb shit. But on the basis that you don't do that and like you grind, the lower down you go, the higher up you go. right? So I told him, I'm fucking jealous. And literally from that point on, his life just went the fuck up. It just went up and up and up and up. And I spoke to him a year after. I said, how's your life? How's it going? Yeah, I remember our long conversation we had. I thought I was fucking jealous. How's everything? Yep. And everything was very, very, very good. Yes. So in, you don't learn anything when you succeed. Like you just don't. You learn when you fail. So like you want to run towards failure, right? One of the big like this is one of my principles when it comes to parameters for success, right? It's two things. Like there's other things that allow success, but two very big things for longevity is how much shit can you eat in one gulp, and you mix that in with and how long can you eat shit for, right? The longer you can eat shit for, and the more shit you can swallow, the better you will do. One thing you'll hear about the hyper successful CEOs is that people, like normal people who know them, they say this person can handle unusual amounts of stress. Like their stress tolerance is through the fucking roof. Let's say you're a company worth 100 million. How many problems do you think are happening in that company worth 100 million on a day-to-day fucking basis? Now, pause. Let's look at your companies, right? Where you're struggling with outreach, you're struggling with sales calls, and all of this is causing you high levels of stress, right? Imagine you've got a working machine of 100 million. How much more bullshit will you have on a day-to-day basis? How many people are threatening to take you to court? How many people are in court with you? How many people are you taking to court? And what about the future projects? What about the projects that you've got debt on? What about the things that didn't work out? What about the things that you need to hire, the things you need to fire? Yes. And then on top of that, personal issues. People who want money from you. Someone else is dying. Someone this, someone that. You got to pay this, got to pay that, so on and so forth. Compare that level of stress to the levels of stress you guys are acclimatized to. Right? Would you I can make the argument that throw you guys into that high level stress environment, you'll shit yourself because you don't have the skill set to handle it. Right? And you don't have the oomph. You haven't eaten enough shit to know that you can get past that shit. Right? A good example, all of us, when we fell as children and we fucking when you like scratched your hand as a kid and it fucking burnt and hurt like shit. Right? I was gonna make such a racist joke. I'm so happy I didn't. Honestly, that would have gone too far. Yes. The we thought our world was over. There is so much pain in my hands. What the fuck is happening? But with time, and as you get older, you take on more pain and more pain and more pain. We can all agree? Yes. The more pain you have, the more you can handle, and the more responsibilities you can take on without getting stressed. Right? So that's a key thing. And that is only built through failure. So genuinely, do not aim to succeed, aim to fail, because there's only so many times you can fail. And if you tally that up, it's much easier because then you have an endpoint. Right? As an example, let's say cold calling. If I tell myself I'm going to fail 1,000 times cold calling, I'm going to fail every day. So I'm going to keep ticking off my fucking tally. No issues there. No issues. I can bust that out. And I'm only going up to 1,000. I don't care about booked calls. I'm just tallying up. I'm not counting the successes. I'm just tallying up the failures. Whatever books. By call number 1,000, when you've spoken to the 1,000th person, do you believe that you will be much better at cold calling?
Of course.
Now, if you go for, I need to get 100 people booked in, are you going to get stressed when you don't book 100 people in? Right? So put a fucking tally of failure and go fail. Yeah? Someone says, what are you doing today? Eating shit. Yes, that is honestly a good description of the day of an entrepreneur. What are you doing today? I'm eating shit. Yeah? Today is a shit eating day. I'm going out to the field to eat shit. Hopefully, I'm going to eat some berries as well. Right? But the more shit you eat, like you guys will fail at the highest point now. So embrace all the failure, because without guidance, now granted, you have me, you have Ernest, and you guys, I'm sure you guys have other people. Without them, you guys will have no the fuck idea what you're doing. So go out and fail, because it's the best thing for you. Right? And then the final example I'll have is, imagine that you were a leader of your country and you lost a battle. Are you gonna give up?
Of course not.
No, but you failed.
But what choice do you have? What choice do you have?
There we go.
Yeah.
And in those circumstances, people die. People's lives are put on the line. Right? So yeah. Any questions? Adela, I love how you hijacked this whole call, but I'm sure it was very beneficial for everybody.
Yeah.
Any
Just
questions? No, go ahead.
in general, the fact that I brought up mainly more personal things instead of sales and business things, are they okay?
Why do you give a fuck? Like, if other people
Okay.
want to learn
Yeah.
that stuff, you need to like grow like a sack of cojones and think, I need to think about me and I'd like to go over this, and they need to speak up
Oh yeah. Okay.
on the basis that they don't, you know? It's Darwinism, survival of the fittest, right? When it comes to this type of stuff, you need to be disgustingly selfish because no one here cares about you. Only you care about you. So on the basis that you feel that it's going to help you, go over it.
Mhm. Actually, that's also a topic because selfishness is something I discovered not so long ago. And for me, at least what was told and what Islam and Christianity says, it's not a virtue to be selfish, but it's also not a virtue to try to do everything for other people. Like, where is the boundary? Your opinion?
But from which aspect? Like, I'm not trying to be virtuous. Like, at no point, I don't think ever in my life, I've looked in the mirror like, that's a virtuous person. Many times I thought, that's a good looking person and a piece of shit. Yes. So like virtue isn't what I go for.
I see. Okay. But you think that selfishness is a good thing to do, like
Of
always?
course. Yes.
Mhm.
Because the more selfish you are now, the like understand none of you guys can actually help anybody. None of you guys are in a position to make a difference. Yeah, you can help with the little bullshit stuff, but you can only temporarily help and you cannot enact change. Right? I'm going to give an example. Going to take care of your grandmother once a week versus getting your grandmother someone who can care for her every fucking day. You guys can do the first, but not the latter. Right? So like the more selfish that you are, the more selfless you will allow yourself to be in the future. Right? A great example, you got all the multimillionaires and billionaires who just like say, fuck it, let's go into philanthropy. How many lives do they help consistently?
Which one?
But they had to be selfish in order to get there. So it all like virtue depends, virtue is highly decided upon the intent. If I'm a highly charitable man, but I'm only charitable for the sake of other people seeing me do charity, am I virtuous? Or am I selfless? If the only reason I'm giving charity is so that other people see me as charitable.
You're selfish.
But according to your books or someone not looking, I'm virtuous.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. So let's just go over some other questions. Rune, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question.
I know, but like I need a question. So what's your question?
Well, like it's not possible if you no, it's if you continue to fail. I was always afraid like if I continue to fail, just my self-image would be getting so down basically that I couldn't get out of it. That was like how I thought about failure a couple months ago.
That's perfectly fine. But keep failing. Fuck, you're down. Good. What the fuck do you have to lose? You're not leaving that place, right?
Mhm.
Until you succeed, right? The way with men is very simple. We will never learn, right? Women are very simple. I was going to say stupid, simple creatures, right? They can say things and feel better about themselves, right? Men, the only way that you will feel better is through action and through positive reinforcement. Common sense dictates if you keep working on something, will you get better? Yes. On the basis that you get better, will you get positive reinforcement? Yes. Boom, that's your feedback loop. But then it depends on where your starting point is. If you have experience in sales, you're starting at a much higher level versus someone who doesn't. Right? So you have to take that into note that if you don't have the experience, cool, you're gonna have to get the fucking XP points up. But you have to keep going until you get that positive reinforcement. And only when you get positive reinforcement, you will start to do it a lot more and it will become natural to you. A good example is the gym. For those who do gym, when you first started to the gym, so when you first started to go to the gym, you didn't care so much of it and it wasn't a routine. Then all of a sudden you saw some growth on your pectorals and arms, and you're like, look at Dio like lifting his fucking arm as though we were homosexuals. Yeah. Yes. The once you saw positive, like you looked in the mirror, like, wow, I'm like looking better. That fed you. When someone commented on it, you're like, yeah, this is feeding me. And all of a sudden, you go to the gym very regularly because it makes you feel fucking good. Yes. But now you have much more of a reason to go to the gym because of the repeated positive affirmations that you get. Right? Because you see that people look at you differently, people treat you differently, all because you got some more fucking muscle on you. Right? To the same extent with this. Because when you go to the gym, look, the fucking gym's another thing. Do you not go to the gym to fail?
Of course you do.
But why isn't it bad then? You're failing every fucking time if you're doing it properly. So what the fuck is the difference? If you fail and push yourself and basically nearly get through it, that was a good workout. And I know I'm going to get better as I keep it. What the fuck is the difference?
That's actually interesting because yesterday I was in the gym and I destroyed like my upper chest, my hands, and I felt really good about myself.
Yes.
But during cold calls today, when I also failed, I didn't feel good like at all.
Okay, but
Difference?
how many cold calls did you do?
Not many, I think.
Okay,
Let me
so
check. Mhm.
if you went to the gym and you left early, would you feel good?
Okay, of course no.
You see, do you see the similarity?
Mhm.
You could have had a
Okay.
bad day of fucking cold calling. You do all your numbers, you can be like, yeah, they're good.
Okay.
More often than not, people do not put the right comparisons with entrepreneurship. You go to the gym to fail and you'd feel like shit if you don't do the gym properly. And it would genuinely bother you, right? Exact same thing with fucking anything to do with business. As long as you know you've done it properly, you won't care that much. Yeah, there'll be times that you're down, like gymming. There'll be times that you don't see fucking like growth or whatever, but you just have to push through that or adjust your diet or whatever the fuck. Yeah. I get Grand Buffet, what's your question?
Do I have to ask a question? In the route of entrepreneurship, there's obviously various ways you can go about it, and different ways work better for different people. Is it just a thing of, as you said, try different ones until you find one that you're better at, or
So this is an interesting thing, actually. It's complicated, right? I'm going to give an example of the issues, right? So let's say we've got Mary, yeah, Mary, right? Now let's say this is the whole year, right? So we have the 4 quarters of the year. So we have what, January till December. So these are the split into 4 parts throughout the whole year. At this part of the year, she was in real estate. Then she went into med spa. Then she went into Cairo. Then she went into roofing. Here, no success. Over here, she started booking in calls. Over here, she started taking in sales calls, had one success, but that didn't go well. And then all of a sudden, things went up from roofing. My question is, was it roofing or was it all the XP points that she gathered here that allowed her to be good and optimized for roofing?
That's
That
a
was
bit
experience.
complicated, different variables.
No. It's this. This is what allowed her to be good at roofing.
But yes, true. But how does that, how can you say that that is 100%? Maybe she wasn't just, obviously, roofing is tough.
Simple. Because all you have to do is get the data, right, from real estate here, right? You get the data there and you tell the bitch for 3 months, come back into real estate and let's see your data after 1 year of working on her agency. Do you think there's going to be a difference in the data?
Most likely.
There we go. Right? Another way to answer what you'd asked is the different styles that you can choose, right? So you could, like one really fucking good way, and I've done this before, right? So, JB, let's say you, as an example, right? One way that you could massively boost your level of entrepreneurship is if you came and worked with me. You would be my bitch. Like by definition, like if I need a cup of water, you get me my fucking cup of water. Yes, like you are bottom bitch. There's the big difference between the two of us. But now the thing is, with that being said, the more responsibilities you come on that you take over me, the more I need you. The more I need you, the more responsibilities you take on. After 1 year of that level of intensive workload, cool. You're not gonna make fuck much, like nothing. Like you're not gonna be paid well because you're getting the opportunity to like I said this to someone, you get the opportunity to breathe the same air that I breathe. I gave them a whole spiel on how blessed they were. Yes. They didn't understand, but then they agreed by the end of it. Right? That you will see so many parts of a working business, right? So as an example, let's say you're doing outreach right now, you're trying to figure that out. Yes. I'm explaining to you how to do outreach for 50 people. Yes. And you better fucking learn it within 2 days and have it up and running within 5 days. And I'm going to show you what to do, get it done. Right? Then all of a sudden you're heavily stacked on XP points. Right? I'm going to need these, like, I need you to run these 20 real estate campaigns. I need you to set up these API automations with these solar clients, so on and so forth. Like, get it fucking done. Chop the fuckity chop. And if you're stuck, I'll help you. But you better not be fucking stuck unless it's a valid reason that you need to be stuck. You do that for 1 year, and then and with that, you learn my mannerisms. You learn the way that I speak, the way that I handle meetings, so on and so forth. You absorb, you take in. Golden. Right? I did this with one guy a long time ago, and he said that he was ready to leave. Right? Now, I found this twat on his mother's couch. He was on his fucking mother's couch, sleeping on the couch. Yes, not a good position in life. Didn't live in a good place. After 1 year, the first week that he left me, no, let's say first month because I don't remember exactly. Yeah. In the first month, we kind of met just before the end of the month. Yes, he had made £20,000, which is about 25,000 USD. And he didn't have much up and running. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of just figuring out as I go along. It's very stressful because now it's own thing. But then imagine if I told you in 1 year, you can make 20,000 monthly. But then you're going to eat shit for 1 year. That's one way to go down that route. Another way is working at a very good company in a good position, learning everything, fucking off. And then the final way, there's the other ones, but then the final key one is doing it all yourself. The big thing doing it yourself is it builds a level of thick skin that not many other things build. Right? Like as an example, you can have all the knowledge. I can share all of you, right? Everything with you, but you haven't had to eat the shit that I've needed to eat to get there. So then if we go toe to toe, I'll be able to eat shit a lot more for a lot longer. Yes. And I know how to get all the knowledge that I shared with you. You just got it off of me. Make sense? But then the caveat, you have to eat, I don't know how much fucking shit. All right. Like it depends. Those would be the a better way. I don't know if that's how you ask it, but that would be another way to answer the question if you would ask it differently.
Yeah. Well, understand. Thanks.
Wonderful. Balaz?
What's up? Yeah, so my question is if there's any like, you know, um accepted rate of failure, like after how long do I know that I don't necessarily have to change the vehicle, but the approach I'm taking to things.
Depends. Like me myself, I hyper test fucking aggressively. Like I will test all the variables super fucking aggressively. It's one of the reasons I'm very good at ads. Like my method for ads works every single niche. There's not one niche it doesn't work in,
Mm.
right? Because it's so hyper aggressive. And then like it depends how you do it, but the biggest thing is you yourself, right? I'll give an example. As you were speaking now, you said I don't know how many fucking times, took unnecessary breaks in your sentence, and you sound like a robot, right?
Yeah.
Fix that as a priority, you being the vehicle. There is no comparison to the changes that you will see in your life and in sales and in client management. Because nobody wants to speak to somebody who sounds like this.
I remember each time I was saying you were stopping me. You know, like
Yes,
say it again. Like,
I was gonna stop them, but I felt bad because it's like this first fucking call.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you do. Dear, what's your fucking you look, you're going to fucking bed. The 15-year-old's been up for too long. Yeah. Poor schnookums. Yeah, go to bed. Stupid fucking twat. Remove it from a bloody call. Wonderful. So, was this session useful?
for
Right?
me, yes.
If you want to deal with rejection, very simple. Yes? Write on a piece of paper, or no, on a big cardboard. I have fear of rejection and I don't like speaking to new people. Can you talk to me? So automatically you make yourself look bad on a cardboard and you hold the fucking sign and you go to the busiest place and you hold it like a twat. You know, that's college, right? You hold it like a twat and you're going to be judged and judged and judged. And after a hot minute, you're going to realize it doesn't really matter. Because you would have received so much and none of it would have affected you because you have to understand the biggest point of anxiety is all in your head. Everything about being nervous or this or that, it's all in your head. You have curated it so you can change it. Wonderful. Right? Like one of my advantages is before I start anything new, is I just think to myself, I'm probably going to be the best. Go for it. Like I would just like speak positive, like this is probably going to go well. If it doesn't, fuck it, I'm pretty sure it's going to go well. And that approach versus I don't think this is going to go well, but I'm going to try. Who's going to have a higher success rate?
Person, but isn't that also a delusion?
Yeah.
So you're trying to delude yourself.
Everyone on this call is highly deluded because everyone here is trying to make a lot more money than what they should be wanting to make.
Okay.
Everyone on this call is fucking deluded. Yeah. You have decided in society that you don't need to follow the norms. You get to travel where you want, mitigate taxes, make fuck money here, there, spend it on whores and women, and then fall in love with a baddie model who's a virgin. Like everyone on this fucking call is fucking deluded. Yeah. So that jump into it. It will help you. Yep. Wonderful. Ladies, that's all for this call. And if you're joining the next one, I'll see you in the next one. If not, Hakuna Matata.